Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where three guys come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from their generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Stoney.
Hello.
And X-Man.
Hey, everybody.
What we got in the can for this week, boys?
Well, you know, there's something very special this week in our country that we like to celebrate.
I thought you were going to say it's the most wonderful time of year. And I was like, wait
well,
a second.
you know, we still have one thing before that.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, two. My daughter's birthday is before that as well.
Right. You can't forget that.
And my wife's birthday.
Oh,
Oh, my God. You know, like I am so, at the end of the year, like I just have like one celebration after the other, but it's okay because it kicks off with my birthday. So, you know, it goes my birthday, Halloween,
like
a
a
week
cherry
later.
on top.
Yeah. So we're just end up partying all, all the last quarter of the year, basically.
That's awesome.
So it's not bad. It's not a bad life.
Right.
But yeah, so this week, the big question is, drum roll, is what is Thanksgiving for you right now? Like, what are you thankful for? What is
Being
that
alive?
mean? Well, Stoney, I'm sure at your age, that's probably every day.
Well, that and having a stroke on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, I found out recently that I'm not invincible.
Yes, that's
I actually,
true.
had some questions that I might be,
Yeah.
but I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I've always loved, like, the Thanksgiving season. And
That's because you like pumpkin spice.
I mean, you know, maybe it helps a little bit, but it's
Such
like,
a millennial.
but it was always like, for me, Thanksgiving is always attributed with like, I guess just the conventional, understanding of Thanksgiving in like at least in the United States where we live at, it is like my grandma would always come over like the night before or would like be there in the morning, and my dad would always be like frying a turkey, and most times it was okay, but sometimes it wasn't, and I would always try and like help him out and stuff, and we'd always cook all kinds of desserts, and it was just this like really awesome like festive thing where like sometimes friends would come over and would have Thanksgiving with us. Sometimes it was like more family members. It was just like this lovely time of year for me where it was just like the weather also gets colder, and I love the colder weather.
Yeah, that part I like.
Yeah, so it's like it just like for me I attribute so much happiness with it because it's like the weather's nice, everyone's like coming around hanging out, and we're all just like having coffee or hot chocolate or whatever, and there's just so much food around, and it's so awesome. And like again, I think I kind of took for granted a lot of that in my childhood because now like a lot of my grandparents have passed away, or I don't talk to a lot of like my extended family or whatever. So it's like I don't have a lot of that in and out like every year, having that kind of like pivotal moment. And it's like, wow, I was really thankful to have that in those formidable years.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, oh man, I really miss that. And I kind of like recreate that with my friends a lot of time. We have a big Friendsgiving, and it's a very similar
How did you deal with
atmosphere.
this in Canada, though? Because, you know.
It was hard. It's also like Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, I think, is for Canada. It's a different holiday, but it's kind of the same thing. It's celebrated.
I didn't really care. I was being
Wow.
cheeky.
Man.
No,
Damn.
you know,
Wow.
coming from
Right.
me where I grew up in Dallas, it was more like a football thing too.
Really?
So because the Cowboys always play the Thanksgiving Day game,
Right.
and so it was very interesting because Texas Stadium was the only place that you could walk into, and you would see people in full length mink coats, and it would be 80 degrees, and and that wasn't the players. I mean, that was like the attendees of the game.
Did you know that Cowboy Stadium for the next 2 years is designated as a tornado disaster center?
Really?
Yeah,
because a touchdown is very unlikely there.
Bump.
Oh, gosh.
I have to disagree with
wow.
you. They're more likely these days, but I will tell you this. I'll never forget the story of my mom. He went to a Thanksgiving Day game and they were
That
playing.
would be cool. I think that would be
Well,
fun.
they were playing. They were playing, and she was interviewed on the news. The news crew caught her, and they're like, "Man, what do you think of Joe Theismann or Joe Namath? What do you think of Joe Namath?" That's who it was Joe Namath. What do you think of Joe Namath? And she goes, "Oh, I think he's the best quarterback Dallas has ever had." And I was like, ah. And they're like, "Can you say that again, ma'am?" They wanted to get that on tape. That was obviously not our quarterback. Our quarterback was Roger Staubach. And so it was very, very funny. But that was my biggest thing. Like, a lot of that day was centered around pro football on top of the Thanksgiving meal. And so, but God, I'm with you. I love Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The food.
But it also, like, I think it, for me as well, it sets up for like Christmas as well. It's
well,
like
it used to be Thanksgiving was the start of the holiday. Thanksgiving was over, and then all the Christmas stuff came out.
Right.
Well, now the day before Halloween, the Christmas shit's out on the shelves.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
you
so
know,
true.
so now what's opening it up now? Halloween.
Yeah.
You know, that's the start of the season now.
Pretty much.
I like when I was in, I lived near Aspen for a little while, and there was real seasons there. And I remember right around Halloween and things, man, those aspens would change.
Yeah.
And the colors were so beautiful. And, you know, you could kind of see the wind moving through the mountain.
Right.
Oh, man.
How come he gets to talk about up north, but I can't? That feels unfair.
I'm not talking about socialistic Canada.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Yeah.
Aspen is, I wouldn't necessarily say up north.
Right.
I mean, it's a little north, but
Everything's north of us, or it feels like most times.
North Pole, like
Right.
Yeah, right.
But I'm gonna say this year I'm super, super thankful, and listen, there was a time in my life where I just was not. I was not a happy person, and it wasn't because I was doing bad or anything was really that wrong or anything. I just wasn't that happy. But you know what? There was this time that I came to in my life, and I'll never forget this voice kind of in my head. And it was telling me things that I wasn't ordinarily like, like it would say, be bold or do this. Like, so when I met my wife, and before she was my wife, when I met her, I was a very shy person. It would take me a long time to warm up, especially.
This is the same person that bent her over the what do you call it? The little
right. Well, this is exactly what I'm talking
about.
about. Like, that was not characteristic for me. Like that, but you know what? There was this voice in me that would say, like, be bold, do the thing that you wouldn't do. Go. You need to tell her that you need to make it clear that you want.
Did you ever ask her what she was thinking at that moment? Because I'm gonna have to ask her one day. What were you thinking when he did that?
No, I already know what she was thinking. She's like, "Damn, he's a good kisser." I mean, what else would she be thinking? But she couldn't even talk to me after that. But listen, but this was the thing. I mean, it was kind of that voice. So here's what I'm thankful that I listened to that voice, but I'm thankful for my wife. I really, really am. She is, we laugh and share so much humor. And even when life is hard and our kids are crazy and they're hard to raise and all of that, if I didn't have someone who was my true partner in life and just kind of, be able to howl at the moon and say parenting's hard, but then laugh also and just be completely wrong. I think it would make that really, really way more difficult.
Yeah.
But I'm just grateful to have somebody to go through life with that is grounding and kind of keeps it real.
Right.
That's all.
And I have to say, I kind of have two things this year to be thankful for. Obviously, number one is meeting Hottie Doctor, the end of last year, celebrating our 1 year anniversary on November the 13th.
Nice.
Congrats.
Yeah. That is, for me, I feel the same thing.
Yeah, it's a milestone.
And I don't know where I'd be without her right now. And then obviously for the stroke, to kind of be in the recovery area of the stroke now and to be coming out of it. Realizing that I'm not invincible, slow down a little bit, even enjoy my time with her more, enjoy my time with you guys more.
Yeah.
You know, I have a really good support system.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily my whole family, but my extended family.
Right.
Is awesome, and I'm very thankful for that.
That's awesome. That's so good.
Yeah.
So good. What are you truly thankful for there, bud?
There's so much.
Besides X-Man and me.
Well,
Right.
given.
Yes, that is way on the list somewhere.
Way down at the bottom.
No. Come on.
Look into my eyes when you say it, Ian.
You're
Look
on
into
my
eyes.
list.
Thanks,
I am
bro.
thankful for you.
I'm thankful for you too.
What list?
What love? The naughty list.
Yeah, right.
You know, Santa should publish his naughty list. What a great way to meet people.
Right, come on. There we go.
Swipe left.
Right. Is that a new dating app?
I don't know. Hey, Santa's naughty list.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Can we hashtag that?
Yeah,
Santa's
sure,
naughty list.
sure.
E-naughty.
Yeah. I am in the same.
Naughty. I like that.
I'm in the same boat as you. I met someone very special to me about a year and a few months ago, and she has been so encouraging and so loving towards me in all of the aspects of my life, and has been just a very good foundation for me whenever I felt like my life was kind of spinning in circles. What I felt like. And then with that, also my family. I think probably like most people have, I took my family for granted, like, because they loved me, and sometimes they overloved me. And so I tried to like distance myself. And so like a lot of that, like now I'm realizing like I had a really good childhood, and I know not everyone has that. And I think I was taken care of and was fed and had a home, and it's like, and had all those things that I'm very thankful for, because I know people don't have that, and I know kids don't have that. And so it's like, I think I was so, it's obviously like you want the opposite of what you have kind of thing. It's like I wanted parents that were more laid back or more whatever. And now looking back at it as an adult, I was like, no, like I had a really good support system of like family, immediate family, brothers, and my parents that were just there for me. And that like, I think I know are still there for me. And I think, like I said, I just, you know, it's crazy to look back on that and think at one point in time, I was like, I don't want to be associated with you people, or go away from me or whatever.
Yeah, my brother and sister used to tell me all the time that I was adopted, and it scared the crap out of me. And now I'm kind of, wondering, I hope I am adopted.
Right.
My mother used to tell me I was adopted. She said that a lady named Betty was my real mother's name.
They found you on the doorstep.
No, but there was many times I'd have been like, where the hell is Betty?
Yeah,
because
please.
I want her.
Yeah. I recently have gone through something that's been like kind of heartbreaking. Is I have some extended family that has kind of like come into the picture now through like some ancestry stuff. It's a long story, and I won't bore you with all the details, but he is technically my great uncle. So he's my grandfather's like brother-in-law, and he passed away about a week ago, and it was very unexpected, and like none of us didn't see it coming. And it just got me thinking about a lot of that stuff. Like I've had this sensation before of like a grandparent or some older figure passes away, and you're like, you never really know when the last time you have with somebody is, and like appreciate those moments you have with people. Because again, and like just like you were saying with your
we
stroke,
were talking about the other day. Last time I looked at Hottie Doctor, literally,
right,
could have been the last time I saw her.
Exactly, and
or really saw her,
and for real, with both of your eyes,
yeah.
And so like for me, I'm just like re-experiencing those emotions again of like having someone. Because of our circumstances, I can probably count on two hands the amount of times that I've seen that man in like a year or a year and a half. And so, but I know for a fact, like every time I'd walk into his house, he'd be the kind of guy that was like gentlemanly and respectful and would like always stand up and shake my hand. And was just like, there's all these moments that I realized like he was such an awesome guy. And I just feel bad that I didn't get I didn't get the chance to spend enough time with him.
But
And-
you're thankful that you got that time.
Exactly. And then it just also kind of makes me think too, it's like, you know, I hope that I can leave a legacy behind where someone can say the same about me, where it's like, I hope that people can look at the life that I lead and was like, he was a good guy. And like, you know, all that kind of stuff. It was like every time I had a chance to see him, he was always like just a good guy and was always like a pleasure to be around.
Well, you've already started leaving that legacy, and I mean, my kid loves you. I mean, he really does. He thinks so highly of you, and I mean, I've never had my child ask me to put someone's phone numbers.
Yeah, right.
But you guys, he wanted your numbers in his phone.
Yeah.
You know, it was the first thing. And I only put, I put less than 10 people's phone numbers in his phone.
And we're two of them.
And you're two of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so,
How
and that's
amazing.
because
That's amazing.
he trusts you. And I know that if my kid was ever in a predicament and
I'll be
he
there
could have
for
turned to me, both of you would.
Right, of course.
And so that's something that I think is really important. I'm grateful to have that in my life as well, just as that safety net of support that we all need.
Well, that's something else I'm kind of thankful for. Now that we're talking about that, once again, this is a show on perspectives,
right?
We have 3 generations. We have the millennial, the X, and the boomer. But we also have 3 family different situations.
Very different, yeah.
Once again, we have the established family.
Yep.
Then we have, with X-Man, and then we have me coming into a new family.
Right.
And then we have, Ian and his alien children.
Right.
So
his alien girlfriend.
Yeah, because you notice he did not, when he said he met his new girlfriend, he didn't say if, they were flying up. And
he also didn't say
if or if she was already in place, checking out the
I'm sorry.
population.
He also didn't specify whether it was a calendar year or a light year.
Right. He didn't say that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got abducted. We didn't have a date. I'm sorry.
So
that's what happened.
All jokes aside, and we're just playing.
Of course, I know.
Now I have a family.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful, and it's hard, and I think I'm gonna throw this out there. Parenthood should be one of our shows that we do.
Oh my God!
The trials and tribulations and the rewards of parenthood.
Right.
But I don't have kids of my own. I'm almost 60. Or kids that I know of. I wanted to run for office back. Run for office so that they can drag up all my crap from the 80s, and I can remember, because I can't remember it. But I have your kids. I love your kids. I love being around your kids, and it's like I get to leave just a little part of me that they appreciate, and they come running up and they hug you, and it's like, man, that feels good. And then I have Magnus and Hottie Doctor's other kids. We really don't talk to his son, but I'm involved with her daughter who's 20, and trying to help her try to pursue one of her dreams since she was a 5-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's just crazy that I get to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
I get to help somebody. I get to encourage somebody, and I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful that I actually made it through the stroke, hopefully, through the end to see her accomplish that dream.
Right.
Yeah.
I've only been around a year, but that's still cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a real dynamic shift in my family, especially with the passing of my, the guy who was dad to me growing up. And so, he died of COVID 2 summers ago. And so, it was one of those things where, he was the passing of the last kind of elder in our family.
Okay. Yeah.
And so really now the elders in our family are me and my sister.
Yeah.
And no, we're not the oldest children in our family. We're actually the youngest children in our family. But there's that, like we talked about in the leadership thing.
I was thinking the same
There's
thing.
leadership that you're given.
Yes, sure.
And our family has given that role to my sister and I. And so we kind of have a leadership role in our family now. And so with it being it, but I have to tell you, kind of the heartache of my life, the greatest grief and the greatest suffering involved the death of all of those people who were older and who my grandparents, my parents, those were the greatest losses, and they were the things that will impact me the most forever. But now, after suffering all of that loss, having had kids of my own, my sister had 2 kids. Now watching her kids have kids,
Yeah.
and watching our family expand again and starting to get bigger instead of smaller. You know, for years it just felt like, oh my God, are we going to dwindle to nothing?
Right.
Right.
I'm in that situation right now.
Yeah.
There's like it's mostly my immediate family. And that's all we have right now.
Well, just be hopeful because there is a time where it turns around.
Right.
You know, so you get at my age and then you're just like, oh,
Man,
okay. So your family kind of expands again. Right. And so it's a very beautiful thing to watch because, like, you know, my stepdaughter in California, she's having a grandchild for us. And I say for us, it kind of is for us.
Right.
And so she's having one this coming month in December. And so, and then my sister's May Domino before my sister's son, my nephew, he may have his second child.
Wow.
Like this week.
Oh,
and
wow.
so, you know, getting to see our family with all of these high chairs and all that, and also getting to call my sister Granny. I love that. I love the heck out of that. But I'm about to eat those words because when Cambria has her baby, you know, I'm going to get it too.
Grandpa.
I'm going to be Paw. So anyway, but
awesome.
I'm thankful for that expansion because, you know, for so long it just felt like we were just kind of, you know, constricting to just this little tiny family. Yeah. And now it feels like it's blowing up.
Well, for a while there, I had all two sets of grandparents, all four grandparents, and a number of great grandparents.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, that was gone.
Right.
That was gone. And I'm like, oh, wow.
It happened so quick.
You know, and I'm left with one grandmother. And that's it.
Yeah.
You know. And,
I think by the time I was in my 20s, all my grandparents had passed away. And so that, or the ones that, again, I had really big connections to. And then it's that same sort of thing back then, just like now. It's like this moment where it's like, you look back on all those memories going like, you know, I'm so thankful to have somebody in my life that was like so supportive and so there for me, you know.
Yeah. And you know, it changes the way that you celebrate this holiday too.
Right.
And I think that's a big thing. You know, we found ourselves going, okay, well, what is tradition going to be for us?
Right.
You know,
right.
like, because there was none.
Yeah.
And so I think one of our traditions is kind of like to be untraditional about it. And that's not uncommon for me.
I was fixing to say, coming from you, that makes absolute sense. You know, okay.
I mean, if you don't know me in life, I'm pretty...
Feel thankful.
Yeah, that is so mean.
Well, this is a show about thankfulness,
well,
right?
So
I am
quick.
I'm
Jeez.
not thankful for that comment.
Jeez.
But yeah, so... You know, one of the things, and we did this a couple of years ago. Now, my sister was not happy with me about this, but I was like, "Oh, sweetie, I'm gonna go east instead of west. I'm not coming home. I'm gonna go to the beach for Thanksgiving." And we did, and I hung out, and I painted the beach, and you know, we did the whole, you know, looking for crabs and all that sort of stuff at the beach, and we just had a whole like different Thanksgiving experience. And so we're very open to that as a family. Like, I don't even know what our Thanksgiving plan is right now.
Right.
It's very up in the air. And so that's just how we roll. But when I do get together with my family, and we do have our traditional, I guess you would say, where my sister is there and we all make something and all that, it's really, really fun.
Right. I have kind of been the pioneer towards like establishing some new traditions. Because I've loved the tradition of like having a big meal and having all the family out and stuff. But ever since like the extended family kind of either passed away or moved away or whatever, and then my parents got a divorce, like all that kind of like it just for the past handful of years has been messy with like, so what every tradition we had has been thrown out the window. So so now I fell into a routine of like just not doing anything really because I just didn't really have.
Well, I absolutely for so many years I'm in that. I hate the holidays.
Right.
I hate them. I've spent them alone. I've always traveled. I've never, you know, and you know, my family, you know, I was estranged from my family.
Right.
You know, starting, you know, right around 80.
Yeah.
And it just, you know, I despised them.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
I didn't say I didn't want to be part of them, but it just worked out that way and it just became a habit for me not to even worry about them.
And then so that's the thing is, so in the past probably 3 years, I have like made an effort to establish some sort of like normality each year of like if
You
nothing
have a chance
else,
to make your own tradition,
right.
and then invite other people
Exactly.
to be
So
part of it.
I've got to hear this.
Yeah.
What's a millennial's Thanksgiving tradition look
for-
like? Is it like a tofu turkey or
Does it
no,
include making our hair buns?
is it a
yes,
chai?
yeah, definitely.
I
with
want a
some
triple
pumpkin
chai.
spice
I have
and
I
some
have
tight
tried.
jeans?
I soaked my turkey in tea bags for 4
Yes.
days.
Please,
You
I mean,
teabag the
this-
turkey? What?
No. Jeez, guys. Wow. No, it's like so for me, it's always like I can usually always guarantee that like all my friends have like the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So I try to make sure like everyone knows the door is open like the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Come on in, bring what you want. You don't have to, whatever. And it's usually I always have a turkey and some like side. I don't know what you want to call it. Side dishes. I always call them side pieces, which is not what you want to call that.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys got my head in a really
I
bad
bet the
spot.
guy- I bet the
like
guys-
a fun party.
I know. But the guys are all like, whoa.
No, but I have like a fire pit in the back, and so usually I'll do like s'mores and stuff, and all that kind of just just a good time where we can all hang out and have a fun time and have
That
some
sounds fun.
drinks. And yeah, and that's been like a pretty consistent thing where it's like I love that. That gives me so much joy and happiness. People to host a party like
Do
that
it before
for
you have kids. That's all I got to
Right.
say. Because when they come, it screws up everything.
Right.
Well,
right.
Hottie Doctor and I were talking the other day, her oldest son is kind of doing his own thing, and we don't know what her daughter's going to do. And, Magnus is, he's just a force of nature.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Running
she
rampant
says,
right now.
what are we going to do for Thanksgiving?
Mm.
I'm like,
What a question.
I'm probably not the guy to ask. I'll
Yeah.
do a turkey sandwich and I'll be happy.
right. Right.
But that was actually one of the best Thanksgivings that I did have. A bunch of
Nice.
my friends, family was, poof. And I said, hey, let's just get together and make some big po' boys and,
Yeah. Oh, man.
eggnog and, just
love
kind of
it.
hang out together and,
Yeah.
watch some movies and some football and just kind of mess around. It was great.
I love that.
Because nobody had nothing to do.
There was no agenda.
Yeah,
There's-
and it was fun.
There's always, I have realized for me, there is always something special about getting together and like eating together and just like having this kind of like moment where we can all just like, I don't know what it is. It just makes me feel some type of way and feel some sort of connection with people around me. That's like this. We could all like eat together and have this moment when in the safe space of my home, and like it just makes me feel so connected with everyone that I have in that kind of space. And I've always loved that. And so, and now that I have my own place to do that, that's when I started realizing, I was like, I used to love that. And now that I have my own place to facilitate it, why don't I do that? And then that's kind of what.
See, I can go either way. I mean,
Right.
there are years when I feel like that, but I am totally okay too when it's just me and our kids,
Right,
and
right.
my wife.
Yeah,
I mean,
of
when it's
course.
just a little for
No pressure.
quiet. Exactly. Because I live a life that has a lot of calendars and
Yes,
schedules,
yes.
and that you got to be here then and meet this and do that, and it's constant. And so
Right.
sometimes, to me, the greatest gift is just some open space to go, let's just eat stuff that we
Yeah.
shouldn't,
Oh,
and in amounts that we
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Exactly.
And
Let's all
and
spend time
just-
together.
Yeah, and just chill, and so I'm okay with that. But I will say this, and this this happens to be every Thanksgiving. So somebody needs to tell me how to get out of this rut.
Uh-oh.
Because here's my tradition. My tradition is I get all gung ho, like I am going to go and I'm going to put up the world's biggest Christmas light display
Right.
ever. Like I'm going to go all Chevy Chase on my house, right?
Yes.
But I get out there and I'm like full, and the sun starts hitting me. And I'm just kind of like, I end up with like a few twinkle lights in a bush and maybe one blow up thing, and like,
Right.
So I'm not.
Are you the kind of person that feels the need to like finish a task once it started?
Oh no! My
Okay,
wife walks
well.
out and she's like this in the front yard.
Because I was gonna say, how about you start all of it, because I'm the kind of person where if I'm going to start something, I have to finish it before the day's over a lot of times. So if I was to get out of your rut, I would like half start all of it, then go eat, and then by the time I'm all finished with, I'm like, well, now I gotta finish it, you know. But that's me though, because I'd be the one to be like, if it's all
it would just be my wife pissed off for a week because everything's half finished in the front yard. You know, like
yeah, exactly. I understand. Hey, I was trying to help.
No.
I'm just gonna stop promising anything. I'm
Right,
gonna be like,
right.
you're lucky if I turn the porch light on.
Yes, right.
Well,
We put a
one
nice
of my
fancy
idols-
bulb in there.
One of my idols is Dominique Corinne. She's a 2 Michelin star chef out in California. One of the first women, I think, to receive 2 Michelin stars.
Wonderful.
And she said if everybody just would take the time to enjoy good food and other people's company, the world would be a greater place. Isn't that kind of what Thanksgiving is about?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just enjoy the food, enjoy the people,
At least
make
that's-
some memories.
That's what I've always made it out to be. It's just have fun with friends and family and just eat some food, like he was saying.
Like not overthink it. Just
yeah. I'm just.
I remember in my family, either with my dad's side of the family or even my mom, so much pressure.
Oh, I know.
The turkey's got to be
Yeah.
right. This has to be right. You'd put what in the dressing?
Yeah.
It's like, really? Why the pressure?
Now that's the difference between our generations and Ian's. Like seriously,
Really?
like
Yeah.
our families, I will say, Thanksgiving was stress.
Really?
And
Very
so,
stressful.
but here's
Wow.
the thing,
Yes.
because
Oh
there was a
my
lot of
God.
expectation put
Extreme.
on, especially the women of the house. I mean,
Yes.
there was a
I can
lot
imagine,
of expectation. So you not only needed a clean house, you needed a huge meal, and everything needed to be so
Festive. It had to be festive.
Yeah, had to be decorated. Had to be,
Yeah.
and you were kind of, you're kind
Judged.
Of, yeah,
You were judged
your
on it.
worthiness was kind of,
Wow.
and so it was a.
Don't be the new wife
Yeah.
and the family come to your house for Thanksgiving.
Uh-oh. Wow.
No way.
Yeah.
That's like running the gauntlet, man.
Yeah.
That's not an easy. That's not an easy.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
want that. That's
I don't either.
What's to
When
me,
it becomes about that's not fun.
as a chef type person, that's not good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's-
Sitting down to a dinner with the gritted teeth around the table.
No.
You know, not fun.
and waiting for the first person to pop off with some bullshit and
Oh,
dad
no.
flying
God.
off the
Oh,
handle,
no.
throwing his glasses across
Oh,
the room
man.
going,
and then the drunk fun uncle.
yeah.
That's
Yikes.
always,
Wow.
that's where
and
you
the
get
kids
those.
table.
That's the
and
stereotypes.
having to sit at the kids table till you're 18 because none of the old people have died
Right.
yet, and you're waiting for you're waiting for a
Jeez.
spot.
Okay, I have to tell you the funniest Thanksgiving story. I had left and started a business with a lady who was from Tucson, Arizona. And so in order for us to do that, though, I needed to do some kind of apprenticeship in the company that she was in. And so I was going to be coming on board to run the sales area of that organization. And this is before we kind of formally opened our own company. So this is kind of training. And so I go in, so she's basically my new boss.
Right.
And this is a really big opportunity. Like, I'm like, okay,
Mess this up.
this has lots of a potential. So I just like, hey, why don't you come over for Thanksgiving?
Oh, no.
And she said yes. And I was like, oh my God. So to try to just, take a big deep breath.
Yeah.
I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you want us to bring and everything? And I'm like, I'll make the turkey. You guys bring the sides. I'm going to have some other folks over too. Everybody just bring sides that you like. And so anyway, so I cooked the turkey. And fellas, I mean, this thing smelled amazing. It was stuffed full of apples and onions and stuffing. I mean, it smelled like the most amazing place you can think of.
Right.
And
So
it
I
tasted
get up.
like a shoe.
I get up to go
no.
get the turkey
Uh-huh.
out of the oven, and this thing looks like the mummy.
Oh, no.
Like it has caved in the middle.
Oh, gosh.
It is so tender. And that was the thing. It was good.
Yeah.
The meat was so tender that it had fallen off of the bones.
Wow.
So it was a
Literally.
delicious turkey, but it looked like shit. I mean, it
Right.
looked like
Of course.
it looked like Jason
Yeah.
had gotten a hold of it with a chainsaw or something. So anyway,
when they said cut the turkey, it's supposed to be. Like,
so I'm
actually
sitting
take it.
but it's not tough or anything. There's nothing wrong with it. It just
Right.
looks awful.
Right.
So I'm like, how in the heck am I going to
Slice it up and put it up on the
Right.
plant
exactly
before somebody gets there.
I put stuffing down on the platter, and I am like shaving that
Right,
stuff as
right.
fast as I can.
Yeah, just-
and I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
So they get there, and everybody's expecting me to come out with this big, huge turkey on a plate, and I come out with this like meat platter instead.
Yeah. You come out, it looks like
But again, that's the pressure of it. I mean, you're
Oh, God.
expecting this, and make
Right.
it easy.
Yeah.
Cook
Yeah.
the turkey the day before, slice it,
The
warm it up,
more
and-
wine I drank that night, the more willing I was to share
That's
that's
right.
what had happened,
That's
of
right,
course.
right.
But
Obviously.
it was a little.
That's
I
awesome.
definitely felt on the line. So I will never volunteer to make the turkey ever again because of that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There was one time my dad was making the turkey, and I want to say it was one of those years that we got like a new pot to fry the turkey in, or it was one of those things where like it just wasn't the normal, and my dad was trying to figure it out, and I was trying to help him out. And it was a similar situation. I think it just it was cooked too long or too hot or one of those like little variables. And he pulled it out and it looked like a shriveled little turkey.
it's hard. Let me tell you,
Oh,
there's
man.
nothing worse.
And
You
it
look
was
at that
so
thing and you're like,
it was so dry. But
Ew.
my dad tried, and I was trying to be as positive as I could be, and I ate it. But I was like,
are you like this?
I was like,
Aren't you
Oh,
thankful for that memory?
oh, of course, it was
Because
so
that's
fun.
a really cool. Both of those are really cool
Well,
memories.
yes.
I'll tell you, and it's always going to be the holidays where shit like this happens because
Yes.
you're in these weird circumstances. So I had gotten my first car, and it was Thanksgiving evening, so it's Thursday night. We've already done all the dinners and stuff. Well, my friend, we were of course on school break, and my friend from high school, her name is Dixie, and we're still buddies today. Dixie had said, "Come on, let's go ride around, see if we can get into, find out what everybody's doing." And,
Right.
and so anyway, so I went and picked her up. Well, we were driving around, and there were these people that had already put out their nativity scene.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was one of those plastic, like vintagey looking
Yeah,
nativity
yeah.
scenes, with the painted outside, but just one light on the inside. And so she and I stopped just being funny, and we're like, come on, let's go take a piece of it.
No.
And so, I know. I'm just
Do you
confessing.
still have the piece?
So anyway, let me tell you, she was going to take baby Jesus. I'm like, stop! No, you can't take baby Jesus. I can't do that in good conscience.
Right.
So she grabs a lamb. Well, as she's running with it, the light yanks out of the bottom of it and all of that stuff. And I'm like, it's okay, just throw it in here. I pop the trunk, and she's yelling, and we are afraid the porch light comes on, and we're afraid we're about to get caught. So she throws it in the trunk, and she dives into the front seat, and we take off, right? And this thing rolls around in my trunk for a year. Every time I turn a corner, bum, 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 bum. But every time I turn, it just goes back and forth in my trunk all year long. And we laughed every time we heard it. I'd go pick her up for school and stuff.
Wow.
We would laugh every time we heard it. So she sent me a Facebook message last year, and she said,
gosh.
"You are not going to
God.
believe what I found in one of those vintage resale stores today."
Yeah.
And I said, "What?" And she snaps a picture and sends it to me. It is
baby
a
lamb.
vintage. No, it is a vintage nativity scene. Every piece but the lamb.
No.
I swear to God.
Oh my God,
true
that's
story.
brilliant. That's awesome.
It's a true story. So
Wow.
anyway.
What a crazy turn of events.
So I'm thankful for fun moments like that where
Right.
because that does it makes it so much more fun
That's so
to have those
funny.
kind of things.
I love that. That's awesome. And around here, I have always loved like the picturesque, like snowy, like autumn or winter time kind of going into that. Even though we don't get snow around here, it's always kind of been this like it. I always look at it and think like, oh man, this.
But wait, 2021's not over.
I know.
Stop.
Jeez, please. I don't know if I can
not.
handle it.
Nobody can take any more.
Yeah, I don't know.
Blizzard.
So is there anything as the year winds down and you're thinking about gratitude and stuff like that? Is there anything you're really looking forward to? Like, I mean, what are you looking forward to between now and like the beginning of the year? Like what's on your hearts and your minds right now? Like
I have made like a conscious effort to like in the past few months, like each paycheck, saving up some money, or just like buying something for like each person in the family. And now also that I have Mallory's family as well, like there are people in her family that have also been really awesome to me and very kind and just very accepting of me. And so it's like it's been really cool to now have like some more family come into the picture because of our circumstance, and then also to have Mallory's family just be really just like, oh yeah, just come on, like you can hang out with us and experience the holidays with us as well. And so it's like I have all these people now in my life that are family or family adjacent that I am really thankful for. And I was thinking about that, and then Mallory's a very big gift giver. She loves giving gifts. It's just one of her love languages. And so, and seeing that through her and how much joy it gives, I'm also like experiencing that as well. And so I've really been consciously thinking like, this person would really love this, and like buying it and setting it aside. Yeah. I mean, in the studio, I've been joking around, but behind that wall over there is our little Christmas closet.
Like
yeah, all of the things that we've been buying for like her grandparents that have been so awesome, and just, you know,
we didn't make that list.
And you don't know that.
How do you know?
You don't know that.
Have you been in the Christmas closet?
No, I don't put any names on anything. So if you like anything back there,
so you're looking forward to giving gifts.
Yes. Yeah, is now that I have a lot of people that I think have been so generous to me, I also want to be generous to them in some capacity, and that includes like just my immediate family. Like I've been like consciously thinking about what I think they would really love, or what I think they would appreciate, and trying to get them something.
And that's one of the pressures that I hate about the holidays.
Of course, normally
hate that. Okay, y'all have met Hottie Doctor,
right?
She likes nice things,
right?
And she can afford nice things.
Yeah.
What the hell am I going to get her?
I mean, are you kidding? Shit, like a box of ammo. I mean, this is
no. We talked about that. No, she wouldn't.
That's what makes her hot.
We talked about that, and I said, I'm easy. You get me a box of ammo, and I'm like,
right,
not her.
Okay,
not her.
A tactical flashlight.
And I told her, I'm like, you gotta give me some hints.
Right.
I'm out of practice.
Yeah.
Okay. We've only known each other a year.
Yeah.
You gotta help an old guy out.
Right.
You know, come on.
Give me some hints. Guys, I'm gonna help you this year. Here, I'm gonna tell you. You know what the best get to give right now is?
What's that?
I saw them out there. Their friend recommended them to me, and so I'm just gonna tell you. There are these frames that you buy for people's houses, and they're wireless, and they download. They have their designated email address to them. And so your whole family, you just give them that email address, and they send pictures to your picture frame.
Oh, yeah. I think we talked about that.
Yeah. So it just kind of...
I don't think that would work.
No,
it's a great idea.
No, I am talking about everybody else. I'm not talking about Hottie Doctor.
Yeah, right.
You better like shell out some money for some Michael Kors jewelry or something. I mean, dude, you need
to... No, you do not buy this woman jewelry.
Oh, okay.
Well, see, I mean, but the thing is, at least you know that. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
At the church that I do my security thing at, there's a lady I consider a prophetess. And one day she walked up to me and she goes, Stoney, I need to talk to you after church. Stoney, I need to talk to you.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, Miss D, what's up? What's going on? She says, I got a word from God for you. I need to tell you this. I said, all right, Miss D, tell me. She goes, you're fixing to ask that girl to marry you, aren't you?
Oh, whoa.
And I'm like, oh, man. Really? How'd you know that? Because I was planning on it.
Right.
And she says, that's fine. You can ask her. She's going to say yes. Whatever you do, don't get her a ring.
What the heck?
And I'm like,
that's usually what you get her when you ask her to marry you.
I'm going to do that.
Right.
I'm asking her to marry me. I got the plans. I got the thing and the table and the candles and I got the whole thing. And she says, whatever you do not get this woman a ring. Now, this same woman kind of prophesied on me and you and said me and you would be doing something together.
Right.
And so
we end up doing this.
She prophesied I would be even meeting Hottie Doctor.
Yeah.
She told me the whole path. So I'm going to listen.
Right. Yeah. The thing is,
So-
like, she's 2 for 2 so far, right?
Right. No more than that. It was like
the
4 or
only
5.
thing that tells you it's a good profit is if they're right.
So 4 or 5 days later, we're out to dinner.
Right.
And I said, howdy, doctor. I said, I got a question for you. 4 or 5 years, when I finally get around to asking you to marry me, do you want me to have the ring, or can we go and I never finished. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
No, I don't want you to. Let's go pick it out. I'm very particular. We'll go do it
Right.
together.
Right.
And I was like, how does this woman do
I
that?
don't. What the hell?
She is so peculiar
Yeah.
on her.
Yeah,
on,
baby, because she wouldn't go down there and get the
Of
ring she
course.
wants.
Exactly.
She crazy.
Well, you know, but her tastes aren't expensive.
Right.
They're very specific.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And I could have went somewhere and got one, and she'd have hated it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you know, but you know, I
And
mean,
then you're kind of on the line to wear
Yeah,
that one. You know?
right.
Oh, yeah. You don't
So-
want to be. I don't think you want to be that person that's like, oh, thanks.
Thank
you.
it's-
Wow.
It's
I
beautiful.
love it. Yeah. Right.
it's so, that's nice.
It's beautiful.
That's
So
nice.
it's a wonderful gesture. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. maybe we can have an anniversary band at our 5 year.
Yes, right,
Oh
right.
my
Anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's crazy.
Well, so what are you looking forward to though? You haven't answered that question, you curmudgeon.
Yes,
Whoa.
I have. I actually have. I mean, you know, having the stroke and having a new family,
Mhm.
and you know, there are some new experiences. You know, we talked about really, you know, getting 1 or 2 little things, putting them under the tree, but taking a little trip together.
Yeah.
Nice.
I dig that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's
I
make
love
a
that.
memory. I would rather a
Have
memory.
y'all been out of town together?
Oh yeah,
Have you? Yeah.
yeah. We went to Vegas together.
Oh, that's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah, I
That's
remember that.
wonderful.
Oh man, that
Should
was
take her
good.
back there. That's really good.
Yeah.
Vegas is good.
Yes,
That's awesome.
But we're talking about somewhere maybe mountainy, kind of, you know, a
Yeah.
little cooler, you know, and just kind of hanging out together.
Vegas and mountainy. I'm gonna recommend Tahoe or
Yeah,
Ruidoso,
right.
something like that.
So,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm looking forward to that. You know, I'm looking forward to the next year with her.
That's awesome.
I have spent some time over the last couple weeks since the stroke, you know, calling people that I haven't spoken to in a long time.
Right. Right.
And I'm looking forward to that reconnection.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
Very
spoke
cool.
to one person I've known for 35 years and
Yeah.
probably hadn't talked to him in, you know, maybe 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it just to hear the voice and
Yeah.
the excitement and the fact that she had been watching me, you know, meet Hottie Doctor on
Right,
the Facebook
right.
and, you know,
Yeah.
everything else. And, you know, she was just excited to hear, and they're coming back into town and we're going to get together. And,
That's awesome.
you know,
I
they get
love
to
that.
meet her and her husband get to meet her and, you know, that kind of stuff.
I love that.
It's the small stuff for me now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm
What
done
about-
with I'm done with the big stuff.
For me, you
What
know,
about you?
for me, it's
Yeah.
going to be like, you know, here's the deal. Professionally and personally, so much of my life for the last 2 years has revolved around the pandemic.
Yes.
Honestly, it's occupied. There has been no days,
Yeah.
literally, when I haven't had to consider it or the impact of it or how we're going
about
to
it, yeah.
deal with it or manage it or get out of it or whatever. So, and then also keeping the peace between those who want this or want that or should handle it this way or handle it that way or have a mask or don't have a mask. I mean,
Yes.
honestly, I have had nothing to do except deal with that stuff day after day after day. I'm really looking forward to coming out of this pandemic and not having to have that be a consideration
Right.
in every thought that I have. And so I really, I'm really grateful that we're kind of starting to see that now, and that we're kind of getting to that place where, you know, I know that it's never going to be the same. I know that we're
Right.
living into a new normal. I know that there's a path behind us that's just a lot of destruction and loss and all that.
Right.
But I really do see the hope in the future, and it's really kind of, you know, like I didn't feel that way this time last year.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm really grateful to kind of going into this season to know that it's going to be a little bit more familiar, you know, a little less weird and wacky. And so
Right.
I'm really
At
grateful
least
for that.
at least in that way, weird and wacky in other ways.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I'm really grateful for that, and I know that this coming year as a real milestone year for me, and so I'm very I'm looking forward to the new year.
Yeah.
So there's
What's
going to
the
be
milestone?
You know, I have a professional milestone that's coming up next summer. That's going to be a big deal. I kind of I've done residency at my
okay.
work, and so my residency is about to end, and
Yeah.
so I'm really looking forward to that because that's been a long
Yeah.
10
And he
10-year process.
and he said
long.
he's gonna have a party afterwards.
I mean,
and I was
it's-
like, oh, this is
I'm
gonna be fun.
totally gonna have a party.
Yeah.
I'm definitely ready for that. And so just, I think that, that's a really exciting thing because
Yeah,
it really
yeah.
is. It's almost like, how when you go to school and you like wait for your degree and you wait for your graduation and you wait for all of the stuff to happen and you kind of make it. And this is really kind of professionally for me, the last milestone
Right,
like
right.
that
That
I
you
have
know
to
of.
that I right
That you
right
know
right
of.
right that I know of now, but it's kind of the last
last
kind
big
of
one.
thing
Yeah.
that I have to do, and so I'm excited about that. The good thing is kind of the proving part of it's already done too, so I know that we're at the celebration moment,
Right.
That's
and
awesome.
so that's kind of the cool
Yeah.
part is that it's really kind of like being in your senior year where you're kind of like looking forward to all the
Yeah.
things that are about to come,
Yeah.
and so that's gonna be really fun. But
That's
I'm
awesome.
I'm definitely looking forward to a happier and less COVID centric holiday.
Yeah. I totally get that.
Yep.
I hope to travel more in the next year.
Me too.
I
Back to Canada.
well, that is one of the places. Yes, I do have friends.
Is there
up
any
there.
place other than Canada that you want though?
I would love to go to Nashville. I have been wanting to go to Nashville for a long time.
awesome.
Nashville's cool.
And
really
I've been
cool.
to Memphis and I loved it. And
Memphis
it's
is amazing,
and it's
too.
just a couple hours east of that.
Nashville's beautiful.
But and that's so like I would really love to go there. There's some other places up north that I would love to go. My brother has a bunch of friends over like in Oregon, and I've heard that's really beautiful over there.
Washington's
Washington,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is
So
one
it's
of my
like
favorite places.
so I have wanted to travel and have thought about it, but then like financially something come up, or again like you're saying the pandemic, I start to question, like, well, should I? Because again, I a lot of times from what I was told, I have to do like a test before, and then when I get there, I have to like stay there for a while and then make sure I'm
Quarantine,
not, quarantine or whatever. And I was
Yeah.
like, is it worth like potentially being out like a month worth of work just for like a 1 week trip? It's like. So for me, like that's kind of been the past year as well. It's been like I want to go travel. I want to go have a fun vacation or do something because
Okay.
I want to fly somewhere.
So here's our accountability to one another.
Here we go.
Every single one of us has talked about travel
Right.
being a desire.
Right.
You're wanting to go and experience some travel
Right.
this year. So we're going to hold your feet to the fire.
'Kay.
So by the time we do this show next year,
Okay.
you are to have at least fulfilled that once.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
And Stoney, you're taking Hottie Doctor somewhere off the map, and
Right.
you're going to go disappear and have some fun and go and enjoy that. Here's the thing. I want to take a cruise. I've never been on one, and I've always
yeah.
wanted to. And so I want to take a cruise with my wife.
Yes.
If the kids come, great.
Right.
But, I am just excited at the thought of going and doing that. And now
Yeah,
that the
that's
cruise
amazing.
industry's back open,
Right.
I totally just want to hop on a boat and disappear for a week and get a really...
Hottie Doctor likes cruises.
Yeah?
But I have a question. Can
Yeah.
you
Yes.
imagine me on a confined space?
Oh
with
no,
10,000 people.
No. I'm much more of a flying guy. I love flying. Boats and open water is not really my jam, but
I'm gonna do a cruise with her. I told her I would.
that's
I want to.
That's so
just-
cool.
I just have to at least once.
yeah.
But I think I hear it's really fun.
I same.
really,
I've heard it's really fun
I
too.
think
but-
if you want a decent cabin, but you don't want to spend a lot of money on it because you're not going to
You're not
spend a
gonna
lot of
stay
time
there.
there.
yeah, exactly.
You're going to be out doing stuff. The things you
Right.
want to get from talking to Hottie Doctor is you want to get the packages, the food packages, the drink packages.
Yeah.
You want to get
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
kind of paid for,
all inclusive.
Right.
all inclusive.
I want to go.
And
I want to go sleep on a hammock, but I want to dine like a king.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be. I think that would be really fun. I think, and so that's cool. That's cool, and that's not like me either. Like I am a mountains guy. I'm like
same.
I'm like, take me to the mountains. I need some
yes,
snow.
We live in the South, and so for me, Florida was a very easy vacation spot.
Yeah.
So for my life, I have gone at least when I was a kid, every summer or every other summer,
Yes.
we would take a vacation or some sort of like youth retreat or
Yep.
whatever to Florida.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I loved it.
In Texas,
But-
you didn't have to go out of the state.
Yes.
You just went to the coast.
Right,
but,
right.
But it was the same. I mean, every
Yeah.
year it was
See,
beach.
I'm
And-
not
and
a
so-
beach person because the last time I went to the beach, there was this whole incident with Greenpeace. And I don't go back to the beach.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sunbathing with some friends, and Greenpeace showed up, started pouring water on me, and tried to push me back out to the water. So
You are ridiculous tonight, man. What is?
I didn't know where that was going.
I know. I'm like, they did what? I'm sitting there like, what is this?
Dude,
oh my
you
God.
had me
and
waiting.
y'all are looking at me like, what the hell
Buying
did
it.
Greenpeace
Oh,
do?
geez.
I mean,
You-
hook, line, and sinker. I saw you. I looked
Wow.
over at you like,
You had me waited with bated breath as if something actually happened, or I thought you were like got into a debate or something. And, oh, jeez.
I would just say I felt that way
wow.
on a beach before.
But like, but so I have always like, beach vacations has been a thing in my life for a long time. So like, it's not that I don't like it. It's just I want to go to the mountains more. I want to go, like you're saying, some snow,
Yes.
some big trees. I love trails.
Fresh air.
Love it.
Yes.
A cabin somewhere, like I just love that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to find.
That's more
You know,
me. You
I
know, a
love
cabin.
that. Yeah.
Out, out looking some mountains with a nice little fireplace
Doesn't-
going. And
Some
Doesn't
wine.
Tennessee have a
Oh, beautiful.
Yes,
It's a
Tennessee's
place
amazing.
beautiful.
Kentucky's amazing.
Kentucky? Okay.
Tennessee,
The
the Natchez
Virginias.
Trace Forest is beautiful.
Oh,
I mean, just
man,
all of
see.
it's great.
Even
I mean,
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Oh,
the
you know,
Ozarks
Branson,
are-
Missouri.
gotta
You
be a
know,
little
there's-
careful, but
Yeah, but there's some amazing places around the
Yeah.
country to go.
I'll be.
you know.
I'll be looking. And then if I may say one last thing before we call it a day for this
There he
one,
goes
I
again.
am thankful for this show and you guys.
yeah,
I
me
wanted
too.
to save the best for last because the fact that I get the opportunity to like do this and make this with you guys and have this time every week, and then
Yeah.
also the interesting perspectives we bring and talk about stuff. I love that, and I don't know. It's just a really wonderful part of my week that I think
Yeah.
I have grown to love.
Well,
So-
it really deepens the bond, right?
course.
Between you when you spend that kind of time together, and you're really listening to each other, and
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. So I agree. I mean, I'm thankful for you mostly, Ian, but I also Stoney.
Wow.
I'm totally kidding.
Damn.
I'm totally kidding. I'm just saying that because you give me so
Oh,
much
man.
grief. Dang it.
I give you grief?
Yeah, I do
What?
love you.
You're the grief giver.
Oh man! Yikes!
Man.
Anyways, I'm hoping
I do love you. You just need a black light to see it.
Oh, man.
It's hidden.
That doesn't sound very good.
No, that sounds kind of dirty.
Yeah, it does. Oh, here we go. Him being dirty again.
Oh,
You're the
man.
one that needs beachgoers to pour water on you. Who's dirty?
Anyways,
All right.
I hope we offended at least one person out there today. I don't know if we did.
If you weren't offended, then you suck.
Yeah, they did.
There, I just offended
Yeah,
everybody.
I just offended somebody. Anyways, we're equal opportunity offenders, so hopefully everyone gets a little bit of that share. But if you're looking for us, you could type in Retrospect Pod on all like the major like social medias. You should be able to find us. We also have a link tree /Retrospect Pod. You can just find all the links to all of our different podcasting platforms that we're on. But anyways, thank you so much for listening. And until next week, bye-bye.
See ya.
Peace.